Yo, what's good, Jets Nation? This is Jets Media, bringing you guys the next episode on the series I created on my channel when I break down each player on the New York Jets. And in this one, I'll be talking about Jordan Jenkins, which is today's his birthday, so happy birthday to Jordan Jenkins. And before I get into this video, just want to mention you guys can follow me over on Instagram and Twitter at nyjets_media. And stay tuned for the next episode of my sports podcast coming this Sunday with Ali. And we have a special guest in store. So make sure you stay tuned for this episode. I'm really excited to launch this episode 2 of Loyal Media. So going right into the player profile of Jordan Jenkins. He got re-signed this offseason by Joe Douglas, which I'm very happy about. I expected him to get paid on the open market from another team. He was definitely one of those players when I looked at all the free agents for the Jets in 2020 that I wanted to retain. And I didn't expect the Jets to retain him just because, like I just said, I expected a team to overpay for him because he is an upcoming edge rusher and he's a very quality outside linebacker in this league, and I wanted him back. And luckily, Joe Douglas somehow retained him for a one-year cheap deal, and he's going to be a free agent again in 2021. I am personally a huge Jordan Jenkins fan. The Jets drafted him in the 3rd round a couple years ago, and he got better and better each year. He always showed improvements every single season, and I think he's only getting better. He's still young. He just turned 26 today. So he's obviously really young and improving. So my thoughts on Jordan Jenkins, he's not our top tier elite pass rusher in this league, but he is an average edge rusher. And I think Jordan Jenkins is a perfect player on the Jets if we can find another premium edge rusher that he can be on the opposite side of. You know what I mean? I don't think Jordan Jenkins can develop into a top 5, top 10 edge rusher in this league, but I do think that he is a guy that can solidify that edge position. His strength is definitely run stoppage over pass rush, and the Jets were top 3 in run stoppage all year last year, and Jordan Jenkins is a huge reason why, and obviously Jamal Adams and the rest of that defensive line. But Jordan Jenkins really sets that edge, and he has that energy presence to him where he's just an overall really good locker room guy. You want him on your team. He's a good cultured player, and he fits the Joe Douglas mold of a guy that you want to build this organization around. People love him. He has a good personality. He is off the field very bubbly and always happy, always has a smile on his face, good family life. You know, we all learned a lot about Jordan Jenkins because, you know, the Jets One Jets Drive series on YouTube shows you a lot, and there was a whole Jordan Jenkins episode, and we saw his parents at his game. I think it was the Giants-Jets game, and you see his dad watching him from the stands. So it was good to see that behind the scenes of Jordan Jenkins, seeing his family life, and he does a game. He plays Call of Duty, so he's just a cool dude. He's definitely a guy that I want on this Jets team, and he is a guy that you want in the locker room. He's a leader. He's an overall just good human being, and he never has problems off the field, so that's someone you want on this team. So yeah, I'm obviously really high on Jordan Jenkins. So let's get right into his 2019 stats and his projected 2020 stats. So his 2019 stats are pretty good. He came around with 30 total tackles, 19 solo tackles, 11 assisted, 8 sacks, which is pretty good, 2 forced fumbles, 0 fumble recoveries, and 3 pass deflections. 8 sacks for Jordan Jenkins is really good. That's like an average edge rusher. Anything above 8 sacks in a season, I think, is above average. And Jordan Jenkins did not play a full season. I'm pretty sure he missed 1, 2, or 3 games. So imagine he played a full 16-game season. He can definitely hit that double-digit sack margin. So I definitely think that Jordan Jenkins is improving. He's still young. And I think that if he plays a full season and we get this defensive line and this defense has another season under Greg Williams, I really think Jordan Jenkins has potential to break out and become a really solid edge rusher on the Jets. So going into his 2020 projected stats that I have for him, I think that he can come away with 46 total tackles, 28 solo, 18 assisted, 10 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and 4 pass deflections. I really do think that Jordan Jenkins has the potential to hit that double-digit sack margin in 2020, especially with last year he had 8 sacks and he didn't play a full season. So like I said, him going into another year with Greg Williams, and this defense is only going to improve across the board. If he can be on the field all 16 games, if there is a season, and there is a full NFL season, obviously, that's in the air still, I do think that he has potential to come away with 10 sacks. And I don't even think pass rush is his strength. I think it's a weakness of his. But I do think that with all the Greg Williams crazy blitzes and his scheme will open things up for Jordan Jenkins. If Jamal Adams is on this team, we don't know. Obviously, it's not looking like that. But he always comes away with pressure, which makes the quarterback run right or left, and Jordan Jenkins is there. Quinn Williams can develop into a beast and provide that interior pressure. It will open things up for Jordan Jenkins. So I really think Jenkins has potential to really take that next step in 2020. So going into his strengths and weaknesses that I made up for him, I think all of his strengths are run stoppage. That is his best trait on the field. His energy. He's a great culture player, like I mentioned earlier, and he improves every year. So his run stoppage, definitely his strong suit when he's on the field. He has that feel for the game where if it's a run play, he's in the backfield and he can just shed a block and tackle a guy for a loss. He's just a really good outside linebacker for run stoppage. Going into his energy that I have listed, he just has that passion for the game. If he comes away with a sack, you see him get up and just scream. He just loves to win. I just love players on defense. If they get a sack, seeing the way they celebrate, the way Jenkins celebrates, he just like screams on the top of his lungs, and he's just so into the game. You know, you can tell that he has the passion. So you want a player with that type of energy on the field, and I think his energy off the field is excellent as well. Like I said, in the locker room, he's a great culture player. Like I said as well, people want to be around a guy like Jordan Jenkins. Joe Douglas is trying to build a foundation. He's trying to build the best culture in sports. Those are Joe Douglas's words. I know it's crazy. And I think Jordan Jenkins fits that mold, and you can tell why he re-signed him, because Jenkins really is a good culture player. And the last strength that I have is he's improving every single year. He's still young. He just turned 26 years old. So obviously he's going to be improving and improving under Greg Williams, and 2020 he can even come away with double-digit sacks like I have projected in his 2020 season. So you never know. He can really take that even bigger leap and become elite. Who knows? You know, with Greg Williams as the defensive coordinator, I don't really think that's impossible. I don't think it's going to happen, but I definitely think that Jordan Jenkins has the potential to take his game to the next level. So his two weaknesses I came away with is pass rush and consistency. I don't think pass rush is a huge weakness. Obviously, 8 sacks is not bad. That is a very, very good number. If he can come away with 8 sacks again in 2020, I'm okay with that. The only reason why I have that as a weakness is because it's not a strength of his. So all these weaknesses that I have in player profiles doesn't mean like you're terrible at this. No, that's not what I mean. It just means it's not a strength. So I think that if he continues to work on his pass rush with Greg Williams and outside linebackers coach, and I really think that that will determine if he can take that next level in his game, because he has the run stoppage in him, he has the energy, he has the feel for the game. It's all a matter of if he can be consistent in pass rush. That's why another weakness is consistency. There's some games where he just gets zeroed out and cannot touch the quarterback, and there's other games where he has 2 sacks. So if he can get consistent and just work on his craft, I really think Jenkins has potential to take his game to the next level. So those are my strengths and weaknesses for Jordan Jenkins. To finish off this video, I just want to bring you guys what I expect from Jordan Jenkins in this year and his future beyond 2020. So yeah, you guys see I'm pretty high on Jordan Jenkins. I think that he has potential to develop into a potentially elite outside linebacker. He's okay in coverage, but in Greg Williams' role, he's not really dropping back in coverage. He's lining up on the end. He's like a defensive edge type of guy in that 3-4 system. But Greg Williams switches it up to 4-3, 3-4. So he's playing all over the field. He's very versatile, so I really like him on this Jets team. And I love that Joe Douglas brought him back because, like I said, we want the same guys in this locker room as last year. We want continuity. We want Greg Williams to really take Jordan Jenkins and bring him to that next level. And do I think that Jordan Jenkins will be on this team in after 2020? I think that if he improves and he has the statistics that I'm saying he will have with 46 total tackles and 10 sacks, I think Jordan Jenkins has to remain a New York Jet. But the one thing I'm worried about is Joe Douglas obviously is smart with his money, so if he's demanding a lot of money, Jenkins will be like, all right, it's either I sign here for a 4-year mega deal or I re-sign with the Jets for another 1-year cheap deal, because Douglas is not going to hand out lots of money. He's being smart financially, which is what we want from our GM. So I'm not sure if Jordan Jenkins has a future with the Jets, but I really hope that he does. If he does have these years, if he does have a productive season in 2020, I hope Joe Douglas can talk to Jordan Jenkins' camp and get a deal done, because I really like Jordan Jenkins as a person, and I think that he fits the mold for this New York Jets team that they need in the culture, you know what I mean? So that does it for this video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think of Jordan Jenkins, and if you think that he can improve and take that next level as a pass rusher. We already know that he's great at run stoppage. The big question is, can he be consistent at that edge rush, pass rush position? So that does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Let's go Jets. Peace.